When you have mastery over emotions, you will have mastery of your life. You can take a story that's happened in your life and turn it around and leverage it to possibly create the most extraordinary things in your life. That's what I did. In this video, I'm going to show you how your negative thoughts can actually create the most profound results in your life. If you know how to harness them, if you know what to do with your negative thoughts, then you will have massive success. Stay tuned and keep watching. I'm going to tell you how. If you love the videos on my channel and you want to step into your wealth unapologetically and you're ready to do the thing, don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified when I'm dropping a new video, because I am here to create the most amazing content for you, and I am so happy that you keep watching. Listen to this story. It could be really life-changing for you if you understand the principles of what I'm going to teach you. I was addicted to coffee at one point, and I realized that I needed to stop drinking coffee. I needed it to get up in the morning if I didn't have my coffee, etc., etc. So one day I was in LAX and there was a woman that was working at Starbucks, and I said, you know what, I stopped drinking coffee. I'll never forget this moment. And I said, what can I get on the menu? And she said, you know, why don't you try matcha tea? I said, what is that? And she's like, it's a great tea to drink and it's green. I was like, okay, I'll try it. Well, she poured everything in, gave me the cup, and she goes, that'll be 80 cents. I was like, 80 cents? That's it? That's all it is for the coffee? And she said, yes. I was like, score! I'm like, I literally felt like I was robbing Starbucks in that moment. I was like, taking my matcha, walking down the street like I had won the lottery, because I was all about discounts in this point in my life. I was all about, like, I lived for deals. I felt like when I got a deal, it was like, I was getting something, it was like I was getting something for less. So I was like, yes, not like stealing, but like getting something. And this drink became my trademark drink. Everywhere I went, I ordered it. They didn't have it on the menu. And then fast forward a couple years, and all of a sudden I went to a drive-thru and they're like, yeah, that's gonna be like $2.75 or whatever it was. And I was like, what are you talking about? This drink is 80 cents. I've been paying it everywhere. I don't know, I was so offended. I got so upset. I was so triggered that the fact that they wanted that money. I said, no, it's actually 80 cents. They said, no, we actually had, and she busted out this piece of paper and she said, we've got a regional newsletter sent out to everyone saying, we need to charge everybody ordering this drink $2.75. I go, it's not even on the menu. I go, nothing has changed. What are you charging me extra for more water? I'm paying more for more water. Like, that's what I was doing. I was so annoyed, but that drink was so delicious and it made me so happy. I was so upset. I ended up paying it after I called all the regional, people, Kim and all the people that were regional. And because I wanted to complain and I wanted to basically tell everybody off, or why are you charging me more for something that never changed? I know, this is a crazy story. Keep listening. It's a really good story though. Do not step away. I got accustomed to paying $2.75. I was like, all right, no problem. Then they raised it again. And it was like $3-something. And I was like, are you kidding me? Why is it $3-something? Why is this so, why is this price? Why do you keep increasing? Nothing's changed. It's still the same 4 scoops of matcha, 1 stevia. Starbucks wanted to get more money, and I was like triggered again, and I felt very, very betrayed by Starbucks. I didn't know that's what the feeling was at the time, but that's what it was. I was like triggered. I was so triggered. I was triggered to the point that I wanted to yell at everybody. Like, how dare you do this to me? And then I got accustomed to, we did go to Puerto Rico one time, and I was waiting in line, and there was probably like 20 people deep, and I was arguing with the people about the price of it because they were trying to charge me $6 for this matcha. I was losing it. Again, it was just the same 4 scoops of matcha and water. That was because it was like a specialty store, so it wasn't actual real Starbucks. By the way, they can charge you whatever they want, like the airport. Yeah. Anyway, fast forward to 2020. It's April, and what's going on then? And we're going to Starbucks. We were in the drive-thru, and I made my order, and many of the times they didn't know how to bring it in, so I didn't know what they were going to charge me at the window. So it was really scary because they could be charging me anywhere from like $2 to $6, and it was too much of a gap for me to handle. And we made our order. We got up to the window, and they said what it was, and I was like, Shamina, I didn't know what it was, but I really wanted to know. And I was like, Shamina, you love this drink every day. You have the money now to pay for this. Why are you getting so triggered? Because it was $4-something at this point. The price was $4-something. Why don't you just pay it and enjoy it because you have the money, and just decide that this is going to be your thing that you enjoy every single day, that makes you happy. And I had a release in that moment. I did some of the techniques that I do, and I released this belief system. And my daughter goes, we should pay for the people behind us. And I was like, okay. But then my son goes, let's pay for the people behind them. I said, okay. And then I decided to pay for the people behind them. So it was like 3 people. I felt like Oprah in that moment. I was like buying everybody's, Starbucks treats for the day. I did find out how much it was, because if they're ordering $300 worth of stuff, it was going to be a little different story. But, it was less than $50 for each person. So I said yes. And I felt like the wealthiest woman I had ever felt. I was purchasing something without letting the trigger be the dictator of how I was exchanging money. And I was relaxed in that moment, and I felt very regulated that it was okay for me to have the things that I want. It was also okay for Starbucks to charge whatever they want. By the way, the drink has not changed. And it was okay for me to, pay this. And as I settled into that emotional state, I drove out of this drive-through, and I got to the stoplight. And before I got there, I picked up my phone, and bing, was a $10,000 cash payment that came in. And it was very unexpected. It wasn't something that I was was expecting. And in that moment, I realized that how much wealth had I been stopping from coming to me, because the victim in me was sitting there feeling very victimized by the exchange of money for something that I loved. I felt like they were taking away my capacity to have something that meant something to me, that made me happy, that brought so much joy to my life. And it was attached to a certain dollar amount. And if I could really realize that it wasn't about the matcha tea, but it was about the fairness of it, and how dare they, keep increasing the price on me? How dare they betray me like that? And because it triggered me so much, and it really got me out of my zen. I was doing all the things that I no longer did anymore, but it brought me to that place where I wasn't, my practice Zen self, it was like, Arr! And I realized there's still something inside that I had to work through. And ever since that moment, I have purchased matcha at Starbucks with ease. I will report now it is $5.38, and I happily pay that fee all the time, because now I ordered as a matcha tea latte, hot, and no milk, steamed with water, 1 stevia, and a little bit of steamed almond milk, the free one on top. And it's my most enjoyable drink. But it helped me uncover my negative behavior in that moment. Wasn't so negative in the sense that I was being triggered, and I didn't know how to process the trigger all those years prior until in that moment. And imagine how much of my money was tied up in those belief systems, in the victimness, in the scarcity, in the lack, that I couldn't pay them more, that I was wanting to have the lower amount because the victim in me couldn't adjust to having a mindset of abundance and knowing more was coming. It was such a profound shift. And if you understand the story in there, and maybe you have your version of what matcha tea is, where you're going out there and investing or spending your money, and you're feeling that feeling, and it's coming up inside of you. I encourage you to dig in there, because there's something there speaking to you. Although it may make you feel a certain way, it's there as the gift to help release and open up more wealth to come in. Negative thoughts can actually be a cue of what's going on inside of you. I had a client once, and she had an experience that debilitated her to performing her job. And she kept repeating that story about how this situation has robbed her of income, has robbed her of the use of, her hand. And it was perpetuating a story inside of her of lack and the victim inside of her. And because of it, it was affecting the flow of her money. The more that we could rewire that belief system of what was there, the more that she could start seeing, this did happen, but I was victimized in this situation, with this really random situation that happened. But I'm healing from it, and I can decide what I want to believe about this situation. I could either keep telling the story over and over again of how this situation that I experienced has been the worst thing that ever happened to me, and how unfair it is, and how, it's affected my life forever. Or I can decide to take it this far and determine, okay, this happened, what am I going to learn from it? How do I want to see it now, and rewire it? The moment that she started doing that, literally she just booked, I think it was like 50 something new clients. So what I want you to understand is that there is a story that you have, that you're living, that's actually an impediment for more wealth coming into your life. And that story, as negative it might be the key to unlocking more wealth for you. So I want you to look at the negative thought and just become a witness of it without judgment. Don't sit there and go, oh gosh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. Like bad me, whatever. No judgment, just observe it. See why it's coming up. Where is it coming from? And how can you rewire it? How can you look at it to now see things in a different way? Because like my client and like myself, we saw that there was gaps. There was places that we were becoming the placeholder of a certain belief system or a certain story that was keeping us in that scarcity and lack. And then once we cleared it, it opened up us into another grander, infinite level of wealth. Remember, whatever you're repeating is what you're attracting. So the moment that you can get into an abundant state of whatever story it is, that's what you're going to attract more of, right? Or that what you desire to attract more of. There's an energetic shift that happens. And as soon as you get this, before I even hit the stoplight, that's how quickly the money was coming in. She literally put an offer out. Like it was within 24 hours or 48 hours, she got all these new clients. It could happen that fast. So you get into the clear energetic frequency, the flow, and watch what's been sitting right here waiting for you. Come on in. I'll also tell you, being able to be vulnerable and feeling into your emotions is really a powerful trait, and something that when you start to allow yourself to be in those feelings and allow yourself to get into the emotions that most people are afraid to feel because they don't want anybody to look at them as weak. I'll tell you, the vulnerability has become such a superpower in my life. When I was on Elena Cardone's show, I believe that went viral because people want to relate to others that they can feel. They're craving that. They want real, raw, and relatable. They want people that understand them. And the more that you can get into that state and really just truly be who you were meant to be in this lifetime, the more things you'll attract into your life. But the more that you pretend to be someone you're not, the things will just pass by you because you're not actually being the true you. If you want a purple dog, or if you want I don't know why I heard purple puppy, but if you want something that no one else wants, it's okay. It's because you want it. And you just get to be you. You get to have your desires. You get to create the reality that you came here to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, give me a like, drop a comment below what your favorite part was. I would love to hear what your biggest takeaway was from this. And don't forget, if you haven't yet, go grab my book, Unlocking the Quantum Woman. Even though it says woman, men can read it too. A lot of men have read it. This book teaches you my techniques that I'm talking about on this video. It goes into them much deeper and gives you a guidebook of exactly what to do. Take your time when you're going through it. If you have not left me a review, if you've got the book, please go to Amazon and leave me one. And also, if you have not subscribed to Unapologetically Rich, my podcast, go and subscribe. It's really good, different content. And also, if you haven't left me a review there, please go do it. We have a group called the Quantum Woman Group on Facebook. You guys go ahead and join that group. And if you have any questions about what our programs are, just email my team at support@shaminataylor.com. That's SHAMINATAYLOR. It's in the comments. And thank you so much. And share this video if you think someone else will enjoy it. Bye for now. Stay tuned for the next video.